Hello and welcome to the Program Mini Grant Video Guidance. My name is Chris Robert. I'm a grants manager at the Louisiana Endowment for the Humanities. This video will give an overview of our new Program Mini Grant opportunity. What are Program Mini Grants? Program Mini Grants are meant to support small-scale projects with limited scope and costs that offer an access point for organizations seeking to expand into public humanities programming. For instance, if you are at an organization that has limited staff or resources, or an organization that has not applied for many or any grants in the past, Program Mini Grants are an excellent way to help your organization develop and implement a public humanities program. These grants are awards of up to $1,000 to support programs that engage local audiences with Louisiana scholars to explore the history, folkways, foodways, music, and culture that make Louisiana so unique. Here are some examples of logistically simple programs that are appropriate for mini grants. Lectures or lecture series that involve audience participation and discussion, scholar-led film viewing and discussion, author or artist talks and discussion, and panel discussions. Each of these examples require, at minimum, a host site, your organization most likely, an expert on the subject matter you'll be exploring, that's the scholar, and a public audience. That said, project proposals are not limited to these project formats. Humanities-based organizations operating within the 64 parishes of Louisiana are eligible to apply. Organizations must be nonprofits with 501c3 status, public-facing organizations operating within accredited institutions of higher learning, state and local government agencies, or state or federally recognized Native American tribal governments in Louisiana. Organizations reaching underserved populations are particularly encouraged to apply. As mentioned earlier, we are specifically seeking letters of interest from first-time applicants that are new to hosting public programs, as well as organizations reaching rural and underserved populations. All viable programs must include the participation of qualified humanities scholars or subject matter experts, and programs must be free and open to the public. The LEH will accept letters of interest for mini grant proposals from November 1st, 2024 through July 31st, 2025, or until funds are expended for this cycle. Selections will be made quarterly at the end of January, April, and August. Letters of interest will be reviewed by the LEH grants team, and each round, 3 projects will be selected to complete a full program application. If your proposal is not selected in one round, it may be considered in the following round. In the event that your proposal is selected, the LEH staff will follow up directly with your team for a discussion before you fill out a more detailed application that will include programming dates, scholar confirmation, and a budget. To submit a letter of interest, you'll need to have an account in our grant management system. If you're unsure of whether your organization has an account, please reach out to Grant Manager Chris Robert at robert@leh.org. If your organization already has an account, enter your username and password and click Log On. To create a new account, click Create New Account. Once you've logged on, you will click Apply. You'll then be directed to a menu of grant options. Scroll down to select 2025 Program Mini Grants to access the LOI. Please note that before you fill out an LOI, you'll want to have the following materials on hand. Applicants must submit their federal tax identification EIN number. Applicants must submit their Unique Entity Identifier, or UEI. For further information on this component, please visit sam.gov. If your organization has applied for a UEI, but it has not yet been activated, please put pending in this box in the LOI. Nonprofits must submit copies of their IRS determination letter. Public agencies of the state must submit their Form R-1056. All other organizations must submit equivalent documentation confirming their tax status. At the top of the LOI form, you'll see a brief grant description. From there, we will request a project name and description. Please pay particular attention to the questions asked in the description. We'll want to know, what is the format of your project? What humanities subject matter are you exploring? Do you have a scholar or expert attached to the project? If so, who is it, and are they confirmed? Do you plan to partner with other organizations? Is there a particular audience you're trying to reach? Do you have tentative or set dates? You'll want to provide as much information as you have at this point, but remember that this form is meant to introduce your project idea to the LEH grants team. After this section, the LOI will ask for basic information about your organization, including your tax ID number, your UEI, provided at sam.gov, and your IRS determination letter or equivalent. We'll then ask for the name, email address, and phone number of the person who will act as project director, and we'll also ask for some geographical information about your organization, including the parish and legislative districts. While this is a simple form, if you need to save your progress along the way, you can click Save at the bottom of the form. And that's it. From here, the LEH team will review your LOI, and if approved, will follow up with an invitation to complete an application within 2 weeks. While you won't be completing a project budget for the LOI form, here are some things to consider on the front end. Applicants may request up to $1,000 and must demonstrate a 1-to-1 matching cost share. If you receive a grant of $1,000, your organization will need to contribute to cost share in that amount. Cost share, for our purposes, can take the form of cash or in-kind services. Cash cost share consists of actual monies committed to the project by your organization. For example, if salaried staff members are assigned to the project as part of their duties, the money used to pay their salaries during the period of the grant is considered to be a cash contribution to the project. In-kind cost share consists of those services, goods, and/or facilities donated to the project. Examples of in-kind contributions include volunteer time, donated supplies, use of equipment, and donated office space. An LEH Grants Manager will assist your team on how to best shape your budget for the application, but here are some viable line items you should consider. This grant can support program-related expenses such as honoraria for scholars, supplies and materials, technical support for in-person or online events, and publicity. You've heard me mention scholars a few times in this presentation. What do we mean by scholar? The LEH defines a humanities scholar as an individual professionally trained and primarily engaged in the study, research, writing, and/or teaching of humanities disciplines. Scholars typically have an affiliation with a college or university and usually have a PhD or alternative credentials in a humanities discipline. However, journalists and culture bearers may also be considered scholars. In short, a scholar is someone with expertise in a particular subject. The amount they are paid will vary depending on how involved your scholar or scholars are in the planning and implementation of your project. You'll want to make sure that you negotiate this stipend amount and contract with your scholar before work begins. Technical support for in-person or online events. If you need technical support for your program, such as setting up a projector or hiring an AV person to record or live stream your event, you can use grant funds for this purpose. Supplies and material. Grant funds may be used for supplies and materials needed to implement your project. For instance, you might need name tags for your audience, have licensing fees for a public viewing of a film, or need books for a reading and discussion program. These expenses would fall into this category. Publicity. You can use grant funds to promote your project. This can include boosting posts on Facebook or promoting through a local paper. After all, an audience is a key component of successful public programming, and thus you'll likely want to direct some grant funds to this line item. Additionally, please know that grant funds cannot be used to support the following types of projects: creative and performing arts, such as theater, dance, music, opera, etc., research, writing, and publication of material targeted exclusively or primarily for a scholarly audience, scholarships and fellowships, coursework for academic credit, except for teacher institutes, museum or library acquisitions, construction or renovation, such as capital improvements projects, social or political action, public information campaigns, archival materials without a public component, institutional staffing, or any other form of operational support. If you're interested in general operating support, please review the Louisiana Culture Care Fund grant opportunity. We thank you for your interest in applying for a program mini-grant. If you have any questions along the way, contact me, Chris Robert, at 504-620-2639 or by email at robert, R-O-B-E-R-T, @leh.org. Thank you.